How high was the hype? How we hungered for heroics? David Lowery's luscious love letter to late medieval lore illuminates it for a new age. Not in the contrived cringe that cranes for contemporary coolness. Ritchie wishes his retelling could reach the regal richness of the Green Knight. For these aren't stiff stanzas stolidly said in senior year English class, but a living, breathing tale bursting with a boundless and ageless humanity. Medieval morality is made modern, Gawain molded into a model millennial. Arthur's achievements have enchained his nephew in an endless, aimless ennui. The quest is not cued by a quench for adventure, but driven by the desire to derive a defined identity. Generated as it is by the geriatric generation justifying the status quo. They proclaim, "Play by the precepts of the game, O princely protagonist." Such rules are suspiciously stacked against him from the start. This is a tale tailored to 2021, of transactions that throw a young man into towering debt. Lo, for this loan is being leaned on Gawain's life. The Green Knight is not just a conflict of nature, but of an eternal fight against those who give us nurture, so that we may become actualized. The film fuses Freud with the framework of Campbell. Per the hero's path, one must part with the parental, like Luke Skywalker lopping off his father's limb. In the poem, Gawain is graciously gifted the girdle as a guest of the castle. It characterizes chastity and charity, both chivalrous and Christian. That virtue is inverted and vividly violated in the film. Morgana, mother of Gawain, makes the sash, imbuing it with magic. Later, he loses it, and the lady of the castle lends him one exactly alike. Except the knight must kowtow to his carnality to capture it. The band becomes symbolic of both baser desires and the bond between mother and babe. Eerily Oedipal as it is, every life is born out of the erotic. The sash winds around the waist where it wraps the womb. A girdle of gorgeous green, a hue greatly ingrained in the film's color grade. It is the color of fertile fields and fecund fauna, so ready to be sexually seeded and start the cycle anew. It is echoed in the knight's endless knot on his crest, saying, "Perform perilous acts, procreate proper offspring, perpetuate the patriarchy." Mother Morgana moves Camelot as if they were marionetted men. Young Gawain, pushed to ambition, a task most grim. To achieve it would mean great fame. Yet is it true fulfillment for him? Will the girdled bond be torn in twain? Truly this story from A24 is a trip. The first act feigns a fairly familiar fairy tale, but in quitting the confines of the castle, concrete reality crumbles. Gravelly gray garrisons give way to a gradient of glistening green, and ravishing reds and brilliant blues and ominous orange. Their meaning, each explained with emphatic explication. Surely it's not as esoteric as so many have said, for the director is deliberate in the design of the dreamscape. The titular knight represents death and the environment. Look through that lens and the film will coalesce. The wilds have a weighty, overwhelming wonder that dwarfs Dev Patel's Desolate Pilgrim. His flight follows through some of the finest phantasmagoria you'll find on film, and comes to a calming culmination at the Knight's Cathedral that may be too meditative and ambiguous for most moviegoers. But you know, cinema needs a new approach to the post-National Knight. The steady supply of superheroes is starting to stagnate. Peering into our past can provide a new perspective of what becomes of us when we are beset by our own ambition, of how we in our world are shaped by the rules we work with. Placed in a test, which mortality is the only end, not unlike our everyday mess, where the only way to win is to forge our own quest.